Some islands just shouldn't be visited. Unlike Ibiza, Malta, or Hawar, these islands aren't known for their wild party scenes and gorgeous beaches. Instead, you'd need to watch out for dangerous animals, breathe through a gas mask, or pray the ship even makes it to shore. In this video, we will show you 10 of the most dangerous islands in the world. Before we begin, make sure you click the subscribe button and the notification bell. Fila Fushi Island, Maldives. Fila Fushi was once a pristine lagoon, but in December of 1991, that all changed, as it became the chosen location to store the growing amount of waste produced by the Maldives tourism industry. With the rubbish seemingly never-ending and 330 tons of garbage brought to Fila Fushi daily, the landmass is growing by as much as 1 square meter each day. With this landmass came opportunity, and Fila Fushi is no longer just a waste dumping zone, but also a large industrial area with dozens of factories inhabiting the island, and workers whose purpose is to sort and sift through the rubbish. Bjornoya, Norway. This would be a hard place to grow enough food to sustain oneself because the land is too rocky. This is a difficult place to even moor a boat, due to all the huge cliffs along the coastline. But what makes it dangerous is that a Soviet nuclear submarine sank roughly 100 nautical miles southwest of this spot in 1989 and leaked radioactive material into the water. This may have damaged the island's soil too. Additionally, experts think that the development of the Snovit gas field has also forever altered the climate. Ramri Island, Myanmar. Ramri Island is located right off the coast of the Rakhine State, Myanmar, and its white beaches and swaying palms are the perfect slices of heaven that every island should be. However, its infamous place in the history books comes from eyewitness reports of an animals gone wild style massacre during World War II. In 1945, following fighting between British and Japanese troops, an estimated 400 Japanese soldiers were forced to flee into the marshes that surround the island, where they were set upon by the island's sizable population of saltwater crocodiles. The incident is, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, the greatest disaster suffered by humans from animals. Deep in the forests of Myanmar's Ramri Island, man's worst enemy resides, the saltwater crocodile, which can weigh up to a staggering 2,200 pounds and reach 23 feet in length, and is the animal most likely to eat a human. Saltwater crocodiles were still common in the Ramri Island region up and into the 1960s, but the region no longer supports a viable population of crocodiles, likely due to hide hunting, and by the early 1980s, evidence suggested only scattered individuals remained. Bikini Atoll, Marshall Islands. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is dangerous for 2 reasons: nuclear radiation and sharks. It was the site of more than 20 nuclear weapons tests between 1946 and 1958, and although the islands were declared safe in 1997, their original inhabitants have refused to return. Eating locally grown produce is not advised, so no chomping on fallen coconuts. Furthermore, the lack of fishing in the area during the past 65 years means that sea life, including sharks, has flourished, which, along with the numerous shipwrecks in the region, attracts hundreds of divers each year. Grunard Island, Scotland. This small island in north of Scotland was used by the British government for biological warfare testing during the Second World War. Experiments were carried out on the uninhabited island using the highly virulent anthrax bacterium, which killed hundreds of sheep and forced the island to be quarantined. The island was decontaminated in the 1980s using hundreds of tons of formaldehyde, which is another potentially hazardous material. Farallon Islands, U.S. Native Americans called the Farallon Islands the Islands of the Dead, and mariners referred to them as the Devil's Teeth for their ragged profile and treacherous shores. From 1946 to 1970, the sea around the Farallones was used as a nuclear dumping site for radioactive waste under the authority of the Atomic Energy Commission at a site known as the Farallon Island Nuclear Waste Dump. Most of the dumping took place before 1960, and all dumping of radioactive waste by the United States was terminated in 1970. By then, 47,500 containers, 55-gallon steel drums, had been dumped in the vicinity, with a total estimated radioactive activity of 14,500 Ci. The materials dumped were mostly laboratory materials containing traces of contamination. Much of the radioactivity had decayed by 1980. The elephant seal population attracts a population of great white sharks to the islands. In 1970, Farallon biologists witnessed their first shark attack on a Steller's sea lion. During the next 15 years, more than 100 attacks on seals and sea lions were observed at close range. Saba Island, Netherlands. Just 2,000 people live on the 13 square kilometers of land in the middle of the Caribbean Sea, the island of Saba. They live in the shadow of Mount Scenery, a potentially active volcano that last erupted in 1640. Since 1997, there have been several localized earthquakes that have led scientists to believe the volcano could erupt again at any moment. But it's the hurricanes that make Saba as dangerous as it is. Mother Nature is in charge of Saba. In the last 100 years, the tiny island has been hit by more hurricanes than any other island, as well as 15 Category 3 storms and 7 Category 5s. That's a lot of wind. Miyaki Jima, Japan. The brave souls inhabiting Miyaki Jima, one of Japan's Izu Islands, an archipelago just south of Tokyo, have a unique problem. Here, the land rests atop an active volcano chain that has erupted 6 times in the last century. However, the danger isn't just from volcanic eruptions, but from the highest concentrations of poisonous gases in the world, regularly leaking up through the ground. In 2000, a mass evacuation was instituted due to extremely high levels of toxic gas in the area after a series of eruptions from Mount Oyama, the main volcano on the island. All flights into the area were stopped for over 8 years due to the high levels of sulfur as well. Miyaki Jima residents were finally permitted to return to their normal routines in 2005. Though residents are required to carry a gas mask with them at all times. Although Miyaki Jima appears frightening and almost post-apocalyptic, tourists can visit the island. Aside from the dangers of poisonous gas, parts of the island are extremely lush, and apparently, scuba diving is a beautiful experience filled with dolphin sightings. For visitors who believe the benefits outweigh the danger, gas masks are available upon arrival at many tourist shops on the island. North Sentinel Island, Andaman Islands. North Sentinel Island is the home of the Sentinelese tribe. This tribe's only weapons are spears and bows and arrows. The government of India, which controls the island, has deemed them the fiercest group of people on the planet. Sea travel within 5 nautical miles is prohibited. The Indian government has also banned anyone from ever going within 3 miles of its shores. Following a 2000 tsunami, the authorities attempted an emergency food drop, but the mission was aborted after the helicopter was attacked. 2 fishermen who fell asleep on their boat were killed when they sailed ashore on the island in 2006. It is not clear how many people live on the island, ranging from around 50 to 400. Ilha de Queimada Grande Island, Brazil. Ilha de Queimada Grande, also known as Snake Island, is an island off the coast of Brazil in the Atlantic Ocean. The island is untouched by human developers for a very good reason. Researchers estimate that on the island live between 1 and 5 snakes per square meter. The snakes live on the many migratory birds that use the island as a resting point. The snakes on Queimada Grande, however, are a unique species of pit viper, the golden lancehead. The lancehead genus of snakes is responsible for 90% of Brazilian snakebite-related fatalities. The golden lanceheads that occupy Snake Island grow to well over half a meter long, and they possess a powerful, fast-acting venom that melts the flesh around their bites. Snake Island is uninhabited now, but people used to live there for a short period up to until the late 1920s when, according to legend, the local lighthouse keeper and his family were killed by vipers that slithered in through the windows. Today, the Navy periodically visits the lighthouse for upkeep and makes sure no adventurers are wandering too close to the island. In reality, the viper's presence is the result of rising sea levels. A less exciting origin story than paranoid pirates, to be sure, but still interesting. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.